So when it comes to giant smallmouth, I am the absolute best at losing them. I've been carrying around this big 7-inch diesel minnow for muskie for a while now, with a big 8/0 hook in it. If a smallmouth was big enough to get this in its mouth and get the hook, that's a fish of a lifetime, right? Well, I've got some stain on some cabinets, drying, and I'll be honest, I'm sick of working on his kitchen. We're gonna go fishing. Water has been dropping down to 2,700 cubic feet. Been extremely warm. It's up to almost 47 degrees right now. So yeah, we're gonna head out and try to catch a March smallie to keep our elite status up to date. I think we kind of succeeded at that for the most part, but maybe we'll keep it rolling and we'll start it on this January. That way we'll do the whole year on the elite thing. Let's take the bike, if I can get it out of here. I don't know what all I have in here, but I'm just going to assume it's something good. Can't forget the rods. Or rods. Should I bring the musky rod? Yeah, let's bring the musky rod. It's beautiful out, 72 degrees. Maybe when I get back, we'll check out the kitchen, show you what I've done so far. Got an appointment with the attorney tomorrow to sign some papers. Isn't quite the name I originally planned, but I think it'll work out in the end, and we'll unveil that in the future. Hopefully we can make it happen. See you when we get there. Hi. How's it going? All right. Yeah. We're gonna throw the pulsar. This used to do really good for me with walleye last year, so let's see. We're gonna try here first in the current. See if we can't catch a couple walleye. Drag feels good. Broke off. All right, we're going to the smallie rig. Grab a quarter. All right, Old Faithful. That's a good cast. And just let it sit. We'll throw this here musky bait. It's all beat up. What the f was that? Dude, something just ate this. Something big, but it wasn't that long. It just swiped. Was that a big walleye? Dude. Oh my god. Was that a muskie? I don't know what that was. Oh, come on, man. Big smallmouth. Oh my god. Oh my god, it just came off. Did you guys see that? Oh my god. Dude, what the f? That was a smallmouth. You gotta be kidding me. So if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you'll know over time it's become more about me chasing big fish, in particular, giant smallmouth. And I think this fish deserves a closer look because honestly, and I 100% believe this, we will probably never see a smallmouth this big on this channel ever again. And you might be thinking, what are you talking about? You're crazy. That fish was like a 17. No. And we're going to review the footage because I know this fish was like 24 inches plus. So let's go back to the beginning here. When I had that first bite, I saw the fish come and get it. He was tucked in the bank, come flying out, smacked it, and I pulled and set the hook, and nothing happened. That first bite to me was like a warning to my bait. That was a get out of my area. I don't want you there. That's how I'm taking it. But when I saw this fish, my first thought was like, man, is this one of those muskies that like didn't grow long, but they just grew fat? Because it was really big. And then my second thought was, no, that's weird. This got to be a big walleye, like a 27, 28-inch walleye or something. Because it was super fast and super thick and long. It was big. So I knew it was something giant. Not in a million years would I have said that was a smallmouth. Never would have thought there was a smallmouth. That's how big it was. And again, proof of that is he ate this 7-inch diesel minnow. Even little smallmouth will try to eat a bait this big. But what I want to show you, and we'll take a look at this now, that whole bait was gone. He engulfed that bait. I watched this bait disappear instantly. This was one of the hardest bites I've ever felt in my entire life. When this fish hit, it felt like it was going to rip the rod out of my hand. Speaking of rod, this is the rod I was using, and if you notice, this is a 7.6 heavy fast action rod. This rod would probably boat flip a 5-pounder, no problem. So if you notice when the fish first comes up, you cannot see the bait. That bait is entirely gone. But even when that bait starts to come out of that fish's mouth, look how small that 7-inch diesel minnow looks. It makes it look like a normal 3-inch swim bait coming out of its mouth. And now that he got some water over his back and he starts digging, look at the bend he's putting in that 7.6 heavy fast action rod. So what went wrong? Well, I think there's only one thing that went really wrong, but there's a few things that just made it not that good. The first thing that made it not good, you know, I'm 20-some feet up in the air, and he hit it almost directly below me. And smallmouth love to come up, and they love to thrash. And anytime you have a hook, even a single hook, with weight on the end of it that he can throw, that increases your chances of losing that fish. And this particular hook actually has 5/8 ounce of lead for the diesel minnows, because the diesel minnows are a floating plastic and they need a little bit extra weight to keep them down. The next not good thing is, you know, smallmouths, their mouth is kind of like cartilage, where it's not really gummy, and if you hook set one too hard, you will absolutely tear a hole, which will basically render the barb on the hook useless. And as soon as I start thrashing, it'll come right out. Unless you keep good pressure. Now you can tell I was keeping good pressure by the crazy bend in that rod. With my drag being locked down for muskie, it is possible that potentially maybe I ripped a little hole when I hook set. But I don't think that's what happened. And I think the worst thing that happened, and it is absolutely my fault, is after that first bite, if you notice the bait, when it's flying up back at me, it was pulled down around the hook gap, looking a lot like Ted.
You know, when you showed me up, you put some of the stuffing in the wrong places.
And these Z-Man baits are like indestructible. I never checked my bait when I threw it back in for the second cast. That bait was so bunched up around the hook point that no matter how hard I would have set the hook or how tight a drag I had, I don't think it was ever getting to the barb because the bait itself was in the way. So there you have it. Once again, lost a fish of a lifetime. This is actually a common occurrence here on this channel. I lose a lot of really, really, really big smallmouth. If I'm good at one thing, it's that. And hopefully one day we can figure out how to get these monsters landed.